Taoiseach, you said that the committee was concerned with the well-being of children. Now, I wonder, have you considered two things in terms of the impact on particularly our national educational psychological services? First of all, the CAMS report, which suggests a fairly damning situation in terms of the treatment of young people with mental health issues and so on, and that obviously has a big overlap with the need for proper services in school, psychological services in school, which are already considerably under-resourced and understaffed, particularly lacking in psychologists, and then children who are fleeing from war, the children of refugees, often already traumatised, being, for example, moved around from school to school, from area to area, when in fact they need stability and we need psychological services and supports for those children. So at every level, we need to up our game very considerably in terms of the availability of psychological services. Ideally, in my opinion, we should have psychologists in every single school, but yet we actually make it incredibly difficult for people to qualify as educational psychologists because of extortionate fees, which are making it difficult for people to qualify.
To thank the deputies for raising these various matters. I know Deputy Muraku mentioned the issue of ASD classes in County Louth, and I would agree that we have a need for more investment across the country so that we have more space for more ASD classes come September, when they're particularly going to be needed. They're needed now, but there's going to be more needed in September, and I know that's going to require additional capital investment, and Minister Foley and Minister Madigan are engaging with Minister Donoghue precisely on that at the moment. And in fairness to the Department of Education, once they get capital funding, they tend to be able to spend it. It's not always the case with every department for various different reasons, and I know they're engaging on that as we speak. Just in relation to any particular school, I'm just not inclined to answer questions about a specific school, because while I might see what I read in media reports, I don't necessarily know if they're accurate or if that's the full story. What I can say is that there shouldn't be any place for discrimination against LGBT students and staff in any school, full stop, regardless of patronage or regardless of whether it's a fee-charging school or not. But I might ask Minister Foley perhaps to respond to any specific questions in relation to any specific school. I agree with the view that there should be a psychologist in every school, certainly any school of scale, and a service available perhaps to smaller schools. Achieving that, of course, is a different thing. We suffer skill shortages across the board in Ireland, and indeed across the Western world and the world, and there only are so many psychologists to go around, and we always have to consider how they can best be deployed. Just in relation to the CAMS report, which was raised, the findings of the independent review are very concerning and raise very significant risks and deficits. Similar to the Mental Health Commission, I want to thank the young people and their families who spoke to them and shared their experiences. I know that wasn't easy, and it is incumbent on all of us to listen and to ensure that action is taken. Minister Butler has been very clear on this, and I'm going to be meeting with her and the HSC on the CAMS report tomorrow. It should be said that it was Minister Butler who asked the Mental Health Commission to expand the remit of their report following on the Maskey report. And I am advised that there has been an ongoing and extensive engagement between the Department of Health, the HSC, and the Mental Health Commission concerning the findings. Following receipt of the draft of the interim report in late 2022, the HSC acted in relation to individual service users. It is essential that a full review of open cases by the HSC takes place to ensure that all children and young people are receiving the appropriate care they need. And I'm told that this is now underway. The HSC will arrange further clinical follow-up for any child where it's required, and will make direct contact with parents and guardians as necessary. And we're encouraging anyone who has a particular concern about their child to contact their key worker.